Hi everybody, it's Chris here from the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel. Just to let you know, as always, this podcast is now part of the 90-Minute Football Network and proudly sponsored by www.pt-4-u.co.uk. Enjoy the episode. Hi everybody, welcome back to the Always Smile on Face podcast on the Gallowgateshots podcast. So this is a spontaneous podcast you're getting from us tonight. It's just one half of the podcast. I'm not sure if we can call ourselves the Always Smile on Faces podcast when it's just us two.
I'd say it's the best half though.
The best half, the better looking half, the slimmer half.
I didn't say that, lads. I didn't say that.
But yeah, we're gonna have a chat tonight about all things which are happening. I think on Monday, we were in two minds whether to do a podcast. Decker was away, Besties in Glastonbury, so it was just going to be me and Mark. And I'm not going to lie, I woke up on Monday morning thinking, what the hell are we going to speak about tonight? Because nothing much had happened.
Yeah.
Flash forward 48 hours, and there's quite a few topics that we can go through tonight.
I think I said the week before, didn't I, that next week, do you think we'll have signed a player by the time we did next Mondays?
I think I was the only one that said yes. I think if I remember right.
I think I did as well. But I know obviously Mark and Bessie just
also the two that know the least amount out of everybody.
So enjoy this one.
In the last, I would say it's been rumored for a few days, maybe in a week or so. Pope leaving Burnley and coming to Newcastle United, but this morning, it looks like it's set in stone. Pope is due for a medical in Newcastle tomorrow. We've had this discussion numerous occasions about if Newcastle United need another number one goalkeeper. And we've talked about the competition which may be needed for that jersey, because at this moment in time, there wasn't really that huge incentive for Dubravka, really. He was getting his shot non-stop because your backup was Darlow, Gillespie, and Woodman. Obviously, Dubravka didn't get his chance until X amount of games throughout the season because of injury. But Pope is en route. It looks like it's a done deal. 10 million quid. What are your thoughts, Digger?
I think it's a tremendous piece of business, I think. Given the price and given his experience, given all of that, really. I mean, obviously, I know some people said he's, some people's opinion, he's the best English goalkeeper there is now. Better than Pickford. Even if you're not on that side of that argument, he's still one of the best goalkeepers that we have. I think the only thing I will say is I don't know if I can. Obviously, games will tell this, but can he be number one? Do you think he's good enough to be the number one goalkeeper, for example? Well, the one question I have then, is he better than Dubravka for you then? Do you feel?
Do you know what it is? I always find these questions really hard because I'm not the one sat watching Burnley games. So I can't physically answer that question until he gets his chance playing for Newcastle, I'll be honest with you. Of course, he's a well-regarded goalkeeper. Of course he is. 8 England caps that were just found out there. And is he better than Dubravka? At this moment in time, I wouldn't say 100%. But he's no worse, and I think it's going to be competition which will put both of them up onto that next level.
Yeah,
that's what I'm hoping from it.
Which is what I've spoke about a lot, and I think, I suppose I've asked you that question: is he better than Dubravka? And no doubt people will be commenting now with their opinions, but he is definitely an unbelievable improvement on Darlow. So then all of a sudden you've got, if you look outside of if you look at the league itself in the Premier League, 2 better goalkeepers than what we would have at our disposal. I don't think there is any. Honestly, I don't. So I love the move itself. I think it makes perfect sense.
Clever, isn't it?
It is, and you can see that they really are going for experience, aren't they? They're going for experienced players in this league or internationally. And I'm a big fan of it. Like I do like that. Obviously, I know some people will say, well, they're all old. You know what I mean? Obviously, Pope's getting on. You've got Trippier getting on. I will give that a little bit. Like Burn, for example, I think people are saying he's 29 coming up. But I love the fact that it's this sort of, let's get experience and let's get players that's been there and done it at that level. to carry with for the next 2 to 3 years, and then perhaps maybe progress from there.
We had this discussion, and it was after Mark had watched the episode with what's he called at Watford? He's just left, goalkeeper.
Oh,
Jesus Christ, what's he called?
yeah. I forgot as
really
well.
gonna do me in now.
Yeah.
He's got the podcast. What's he
I
called?
know he has. Yeah, I know. I know what you mean though. Someone will
The
comment.
cycling goalkeeper. What the hell's he called? Somebody tells what he's called.
Because I was going to say Scott Carson, but it isn't him. It's
No,
the
it's not
other
Scott.
one. I know.
It's the older one.
I
What the
know.
hell's he called? Somebody tell me what he's called, because that's going to do wedding. Forster. That's who it is.
Of course.
We were discussing how he was saying on our podcast. He wouldn't mind going as a number 2, as long as it's going to be a younger goalkeeper ahead of him that he can improve.
Yeah.
As a goalkeeper, we'll find ourselves in the opposite situation right now, with Pope coming in, very similar age to Dubravka, coming in his prime, probably in his prime as a goalkeeper. And we had a few comments from people saying, is the competition going to be a bit too much pressure for those goalkeepers? So what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a fair argument. Like, I mean, I'm not saying I agree with it, because for me, I think competition brings the best out in you. That can be in training, can be in your focus for the actual game itself. I feel as if you've got a number one. See, this is where the argument is, isn't it? Some people say if you are the actual number one, you can play with confidence and a freedom that if you do a mistake or something goes wrong, you don't need to panic. It's going to be all right, because you've got faith in the manager and there's no one else really. Whereas you may think, God, if I do a clanger today, I'm out next week. I can understand how that might bring tension. But for me personally, I'll say it exactly the same as the top end of the field. I want people that's on that pitch to think, if I slip up here for a second, somebody's going to come in. So for me, competition's a great thing.
And the thing is, he's going to be signing for Newcastle tomorrow, before any sort of pre-season happens. So pre-season is going to be crucial in regards to who starts that opening fixture of the season.
It is, isn't it? It really is, yeah.
It's not like you bring them in a couple of weeks before the season starts. They are going to get, both of them are going to get a full pre-season under their belt and feature it in probably all of the games, because you know what it's like rotating them in friendlies.
Yeah. Well, I think there's one day where we've got 2 games in a day, so
2 in 24
and it'll
hours,
be interesting maybe when whatever the last pre-season friendly is that's normally the one where people kind of hedge the bets on that's the team. So no, I agree. It would be very, very interesting. Do you think? I think I still have a feeling. You see, you've got Pope coming here. Pope's played almost every minute you could play.
Well, we were just looking in the 1920 season. He played every single game by the looks of it for Burnley. And up until then, he's only missed a handful of games.
Yeah, impressive injury. I know, but you could say goalkeepers don't get injured often, but Dubravka's had his fair share, right? So I do think that's amazing that you've got a goalkeeper who doesn't go missing for injury or anything like that, which I think is great.
So we've got a partnership with a Playmaker Stats as well through the Gallowgateshots Twitter account, and they tagged us in a post earlier today, 9 hours ago, saying most Premier League clean sheets from 2019-2020 season to up until right now. Top is Edison, 55. Allison on 43. Pope is the next one down, 35 clean sheets. Then Laurie's underneath that, Schmeichel underneath that on 34 and 31. Those stats alone are pretty impressive. Like,
it's mind-boggling, to be honest. Like, I mean, let's be fair. I mean, Burnley, they weren't a great side, but they were hard to beat. I mean, they were a difficult side to beat. But still that stat alone is quite breathtaking, really, to be honest. And as I say, I'll go back to it again. I think for the price, it's just clever again, isn't it? It's clever like Trippier was. It's clever like Target is.
It's experience.
Aye,
that's what it is.
And you look at across the back line now, that back five that we would have, the wealth of experience that's there, man, is tremendous.
It's something which we mentioned a couple of weeks ago when we compared ourselves to the likes of the Man City takeover, and we said they brought in a caliber of players that knew exactly what they were doing in the Premier League.
Yeah.
It looks like we're doing a pretty similar thing right now, where you put a couple of heads in there, solid, wise players in there, then you advance from there the season after, then the season after. Josh Stockton, who was sent in a donation, thanks Josh, says, "Hey lads, been a while, hope you're both well. I'm on the fence with signing Pope. I think he's a great goalkeeper, but I think it's a strange signing considering how he wants to play from the back. From what I've seen, Pope can't do that." There's another couple of mentions in relation to that. Adam, our very own Adam Wallace, says,
W.
"Can we discuss how everyone is slating Pope for his kicking distribution when Dubs is not great at that either. If I get my say in this one, I think it's probably because you were hoping to bring in a goalkeeper that can do that. And it's probably a like-for-like replacement. Well, not even a replacement for Dubravka, as we know yet, but you're not really getting much in regards to the comfortable with the ball at the feet sort of thing from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, well, the times I've seen Pope, it hasn't been loads, don't get us wrong, but I have to agree he's looked incredibly shaky on the bottom. Most notably when we played them, I remember as well, he didn't look good at all on the floor. And it is an interesting one considering that is obviously what Howe's trying to do, but
the thing is, how many teams can physically play from out the back?
There's a lot try to, especially now they do.
We went to Chelsea. Chelsea tried to do it with us, and they couldn't do it with our pressure.
Arsenal tried it.
And
we battered them.
It's one of those things where, yes, it works at times, but I don't think we're at the point now where we're comfortable to be playing out from the back. And I'm not saying I'm expecting the ball to get lumped up.
Can you imagine the crowd if we start to play? I'm talking danger keeping them.
Mate.
Some teams I see
like Dummett's got the ball again.
Yeah, some teams I see go short, and I'm thinking, whoa, not in there, No, but I agree. In this, I think going back to my first point was about who's your number one going to be. That's the only thing I will throw at it briefly. Why it's a surprising signing in that regard, because you would have maybe expected them to get a goalkeeper that can play out from the back. That is maybe a completely different option than Dubravka. Whereas you could say, actually, I can see how he's going to be the number one for years to come. Whereas with Pope, it's heads or tails between him. It feels that way to me. It feels that way.
And out of 20 Premier League teams, how many of those goalkeepers are comfortable with the ball at the feet?
Oh,
there's not many.
There's not many. No, there's not. No, there's not.
3, 2, 3.
Yeah,
there's not many. There's not many, to be fair. And I think the time will come. But going into the season, Dick, if you've got to put money on it right now, who's going to be your number one goalkeeper?
Dubravka.
See, I'm going the opposite way. I'm going Pope.
Are you more on the side? Because the only thing I'm thinking in my head is he signs because he's been, he's coming in and he's number one. He's been told that. That's what I feel. But I'm just trying to be thinking he'll be loyal and go with Dubravka.
I don't know me reasoning behind it, but I think it will be him. I think Dubravka, the last couple of seasons, he's missed a few games because of injury.
Yeah.
He has done. He's looked shaky at times. Yeah. I think Pope will be the first one to get a chance between the six.
Do you think it could be difficult if Pope makes an error? I'm not saying on Howe's behalf. I mean, our fans will be like, it was like this when Darlow was in, right? You remember when Darlow went in and
Matt Sells.
Well, Christ almighty, he was absolutely shocking. But when I remember Darlow going in and there was a few things Darlow did really well, and people would say, but Dubravka would have saved that anyway. And then Darlow would do a mistake and it would be, Dubravka has to come back in. And I think you might have that argument quite often if that's the case. But
both international goalkeepers as well, fighting for places in the World Cup as well.
And that's again what I mean by why I think it's a good sign. And it's another one that we're going to have 2 international quality goalkeepers. You know what I mean? Fighting for that position. And again, it's just that forward step of what we haven't had before. Which is.
So you're going Dubravka, I'm going Pope.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm, full in that half, but I mean, I'm just leaning there to be nice, really, I think.
What does that mean now for Darlow? He has to look for a move away, doesn't he?
You would have to think so.
Woodman's gone to Preston, I believe,
Preston,
on loan. Or was it signing?
It was signing.
Was it signing? Outright signing. Okay. Darlow needs game time, doesn't
he? He does, because he ain't going to play. I can't see him being happy to just sit as third choice. I guess it's if he can get a move, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is at the value that he believes financially is going to be good for him. I did more rumours about Borough again. I was speaking to someone, but you don't know. But I would say he has to go.
Yeah. Anything else to add on Pope before we start moving on to other subjects tonight?
No.
Nothing. No. I think we've rounded that one up quite well, to be fair. I'm excited for the sign. I'm not going to lie. I'm excited.
Got Saint and Pope, haven't Pope and Saint?
Pope and Saint, aye. It's been a while since we've brought a goalkeeper in to challenge for that number one spot, really.
It has, hasn't it? Well, Dubravka was...
How long has Dubravka been here for now?
Well, it was the season we went down... No, apologise. It was a season when, in January, we signed him, didn't we?
Came in on loan, didn't he? We signed him.
So 2018, 2017,
It's a while, like.
Yeah.
It's a while, like.
Yeah, it's a
One of the topics which I wanted to mention is, so like I said, on Monday we're struggling for topics. We're having struggled tonight, and I'll put the photo on screen. Decca, you sent me this image earlier today.
Oh.
I'd already seen it, but you sent it to us as well. It's been a talking point on social media this afternoon, and it is the training / warm up shirt, which is a what color is it? That is a sky blue. Can you call it? It's lighter than a sky blue.
Yeah,
What kind of blue is that, Digger? Topaz. Is that a color?
Is it?
I don't know. I think it is.
I would say light blue, but it's not. There's a. It's not like a Home Bargains bag, isn't it?
Home Bargains blue.
Home Bargains blue. Right?
But it's got umpteen silhouettes of various things from around Tyneside on there. You've got St. James's Park on the top and on the bottom. You've got the Time Bridge. You've got the Millennium Bridge. Yeah. And is that the cathedral as well in the background? I think it is.
Yeah, what's that one there?
I think that's part of the cathedral, is it not? Is that Theatre Royal? Is that Theatre? I
thought it was City Hall or Theatre Royal. I wasn't sure what that one was.
I've got no idea. I'm sure somebody will tell. What's your initial thoughts on that, Digger?
I'm an absolutely huge fan of it. Like,
oh yeah,
I absolutely love it. But there's things I don't like about it. But there's not many things I look at and go, that is perfect. The Gotta Bread special is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not many things I look at and go, there's nothing I would change with that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And there's things I change in that. But my first reflection is, I am all for it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
There's too much happening on it.
No, I agree.
There's way too much happening on it.
So
I think it was Randall Bell off of Twitter put a tweet on earlier, said that it looks like a university pamphlet. It just, there's too much happening. I get the idea, and I get that people want this flashback to the Sunset Kit and things like that.
My point was going to be,
but there's too much happening.
They're going for the blue, aren't they? Maybe that's because it's the training colour. Why not go Sunset, by the way? Just do it. If you're going to go this far,
just do the Sunset.
Just make it orange. Like, let's just go for it all out. I mean, we had orange and stuff last year. I agree that there's too much there. The one that does stand out of us, which I really don't like, is the stadium at the very bottom. It's
a bit chunky, innit? A bit dark.
I don't know. It's already on as well. It's already on at the top here. So I don't really think you need that on there. City Hall or whatever we don't know what sure this is.
I think it's theatre.
I think that could have gone. The bridges, I'm not sure.
I do know what it is.
Well, what would you? I know you think there's too much. What would you have removed?
Most of it.
Just up the stadium.
Yeah.
One bridge.
Do you know the top stadium bit?
That looks good.
That, but lower down. Do you know what it looks like?
Yeah, the more I'm looking at it now, there is so much going on. Like,
it looks like the Castor design team have gone onto social media, found all the concept kits which have ever been made by Newcastle United fans, and stuck them all together.
Are you surprised by it though? Even the effort of them thinking for a training kit, we'll do this.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah.
I am,
with the training kit, you normally get this? You do get a sponsor across the middle, don't you?
This was going to be my question to you.
Shit.
This was going to be my question because that I know they're saying it's a warm up kit. I thought the sponsor may have to go on there yet. That was honestly my thought. But can I also say something? Is this absolute?
So it comes from the Newcastle United retro kit. They do the supply the kits, the old ones. And he said it came from the same source that the home kit and away kit, and that they have been spot on. So, did you know what it is? You've just zoomed in on that. If anybody hasn't zoomed in on it yet, zoom in on the bottom of it. It's just an absolute mess. It's a mess.
I don't know what that is there, by the way. This here.
It's a mess.
It's like a weird thing or something. Listen, as I'll say, I'm a fan of it, right? You know what it is? I'm going to buy it, probably. Well, I am. But it's far from perfect because there is too much going on. Especially when you zoom in, you're like, right, what's this?
Like, if you saw that little, like, just that,
yeah,
right, and somebody show you that picture and go, what do you think of that? You got absolutely honking.
Yeah. That doesn't even. Can I also add? That doesn't even anything about our stadium.
So Decker's currently looking at the bottom left. It does. If you go around the back of the leases, that's what it looks like.
Oh shit! Of course, it's
where the car park, the windy bit of the car park. Yeah.
Obviously, that's classical. I get that. Yeah, there is just too much on it, but I think it's a good idea.
So Sir Monkey has said, Decker's thoughts, haven't seen a 180 like that since Big Joe took to the midfield.
That's a fair comment. No, listen, I still like it.
It's too much.
I don't know if when I said this, I am a fan of it and I like it. But when I said there was something I would change, it would be to remove some of them things. There's just too much on there.
Most of it.
Yeah,
I think if you had a sort of that, then alongside a similar one, but just with that top half of St. James's Park, 10 times better.
Amazing.
They've tried too hard.
Of course, they've added things on that
Yeah.
I don't think I needed, to be honest with you, but you know.
Something else.
Well, out of 10, then, what do you reckon?
Oh, 3. 3. I really don't like it.
Oh, no.
I really don't like it.
I'm going to go for however many things are on it. I'm going to go for that to be number.
So people who are watching right now, I'll put it back on screen if you haven't already seen it. There it is. Sorry if it scared anybody. Mark that out of 10. I've gone for a very low scoring 3. Check out what you scoring out of 10. Stop counting how much shit's on it.
I think it's a solid 7. Like
a 7.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think it's a solid 7. Yeah, I do. Yeah, and it might also look. Well, actually, it may not, but it might look better in person.
Depends who's wearing it, doesn't it?
Could look worse. Yeah, could look worse.
Imagine all the big lads walking around like Tyneside with the Royal Big massive.
Be some size bridges on there. Like, well, yeah. No. So what's the comments? What's thoughts?
I'll go through some of them. So I'll quickly go through them. Tom Lynch is more at a 7. Yorkshire Mag a 9. Oh. Alan Baines 8.5. David White 7 out of 10. Swadler 6. Mark Smith 8. David White says he likes it. So Monkey Suit for warm-up kit, he says 8. If there's a sponsor, a 2.
Yeah.
Without 5.7. Very precise.
Very precise.
Yeah. 5s. Like... It's pretty split, but most are 7 plus.
Yeah,
like
I think it deserves that. Like I really do. I think it gets a 5 out of 10 just for the effort in terms of what they've tried to do. In my opinion. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
Okay. I think I'm the odd one out. I think people are just too sentimental about that silhouette. People just want to see a silhouette. And apparently, the away kit, or was it the third kit? Is the third kit the white and green one? Is that away kit?
The third kit is, I believe, is the white and green one.
Right. Okay. So one of the kits apparently has a map of Tyneside, bird's eye view of Tyneside in the shirt. Mm-hmm. Apparently.
I don't think it'll be the white one.
Apparently.
What do you think? Then again, the turkey specials I've seen, I'm going to have me a map of Tyneside.
Well, they can't even get the sponsor straight on them.
Heard is that one. Heard is nothing like that.
Oh, yeah. Callum Lewis says we need to hear Bestie's thoughts on it. I don't think has Bestie mentioned it yet. I'll see in the group today, but I don't think he's mentioned it.
I'll have a very, very quick look. Because I want to
quickly send a message in the WhatsApp group. Just tag him Bestie in it. He is in Glastonbury, so he might not reply.
He might not reply.
Like. Bestie will have some opinions on it. Next up, the stadium, St. James's Park. Concourses are having a little bit of a makeover, Decker. I'll put this one on screen as well. Yes. So the concourses are having basically posters, massive posters above the tills and the serving areas, the bars basically. Says who's that team we call United, all in different. Once again, that sunset kit has made an appearance.
I've noticed that. Yeah, I did notice that. Yeah.
So I'll show you the sunset kit's made an appearance on that one as well. Yeah. It's great just to see a bit of money being spent, especially in the concourses because they were dated.
Absolutely right. Yeah. And listen, again, you might not, some people might not like the font that's used. They might not actually like some of the pictures, but I've seen some other bits where everything seems to have been painted like a matte black. It looked like a lot of I think there's some of the areas behind that on that till, the till photos. And it's what we've wanted for, God knows how long. God knows how long we've wanted just a lick of paint here and there. And it's the little things, and it'll be like a breath of fresh air for fans going in there and things being new. It'll not last forever because, of course, it'll get wrecked again. that's just the way it can. But it's nice to see they're updating it. So that's fantastic. Yeah.
And it looks like this is going to be the case right up until the start of the season, to be fair. You're going to see a lot of contractors going in and out of St. James's Park and updates throughout. I think they've already started on the training ground. as well.
Yes, that's right.
Already in there.
Yeah.
Sorting that out.
Yep.
Hopefully, to be majority of it to be ready really by the start of the season. You would have.
That was what Howard. I'm sure I'd read that Howard was saying that. So, it's not all of it, but you know,
structure-wise, you're hoping for it to be completed.
So that would be amazing. It's just, you know, again, the things that we've wanted are happening very quickly. That movement that we've been asking for, wanting to see, has been quick, and things like that are great. So
if you are new to the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel, this is a discussion which we'll have quite a lot about things that we would like to see at St. James's Park, in the concourse and things like that, improvements that we would like to see in and around the ground. My opinion was always local facilities in regards to local companies bringing in the likes of the food and the drinks into it. So obviously you've got X amount of drink stores that you can have in there, like so Wild Brewery and all sorts. But for me, Dixon's, I want Dixon's and I want Greg's being served. I want a Savaloy dip at half time, mate.
People $7.50 that. Actually, it's about that in Dixon's, isn't it? So probably 10. No, that's a really. I was actually going to say the food side of it. The reason why drinks, I just thought maybe there'd be some kind of, you know, bigger deal with, I don't know, Heineken or so. I don't know. I'm just saying that. I'm just
like drinks, like sponsor sort of thing.
Which is not a bad idea. What you're saying though, to have local beers or local ales or something. But certainly food would be a great one for me. I just want a kebab store. That's what.
Fries and burgers.
Fries and burgers.
Get fries and burgers.
Get gills in there, man.
Gills, garlic bread specials at all times.
You imagine them just.
You wouldn't get us back now.
Not a chance.
Fries and burgers. Get fries and burgers in St. James's Park. They've just opened a store in Shields Road as well.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So they've got one Fowler Street in South Shields, and they've got one in Shields Road in Biker as well.
Do you go there often? The one in Shields where we live.
Yeah.
I don't go that often, but I have been.
Unreal! Like
for a $5, that's incredible,
the best.
Incredible.
But yeah, anything else that you would like to see at St. James's Park? I think Bestie, all that he wants is black and white seats, black and white nets, and those pints that fill it from the bottom.
I'm not interested in them so much. But black and white seats and black and white nets. Even I would have coloured nets in the Premier League.
I would have thought so, yeah. You used to have sponsors on the nets, didn't they?
Be the greatest, you know. Black and white seats and black and white nets would be the greatest. Be the greatest.
Yeah. Black and white seats would look amazing, to be fair.
Absolutely love.
To be fair. Right. One of the questions which has been sent was, anybody else does have any more questions, just give us a shout. We'll go through a handful of them. It's not going to be an extra long one today. But yeah, that's what she said. Liam Willis says, evening, gents. Going back to an article published earlier in the week from The Athletic, do you miss the Tyne Weir Derby Day enough to want it back? Decker.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Honestly, I didn't like them anyway. I mean, even the ones when we won, and I'm going back to the, you know, the 5-1, for example, or the one that Ryan Taylor over the wall, all the games, all of them. I just absolutely hated them. I honestly did. I couldn't sleep. I was shitting myself for days. On the shit out all the night before.
It's the nervous poo, isn't it?
It is. It just gets to you. I think what's, and I don't mean, you know, I think the reason why it is, and I'll say this maybe on Chris's behalf as well, where we live, if I'm being honest, most of my friends, we're kind of split down the middle.
It's 50-50.
My best mate is a season ticket all of a sudden. He has all of his life. He's my best mate. And I think it's because of where we live. Whereas if I lived in Newcastle, probably I'd enjoy them more because I wouldn't have to face anyone.
The next day at work would be less painful.
No, there's you know, and I have no one in my inbox and that's a Sunderland fan that I'd be speaking to, my friends, you know what I mean? Whereas I used to sometimes go to the Derby game, then I'd go and meet them. Would meet up afterwards, and I'd be like sit with them. And either obviously the run where they were beaten all the time was horrendous.
So that run where they were beaten all the time, I remember I was working as a career at the time, obviously warehouse based, just full of blokes, and it was the type of Sunderland fans that never go to a game in their life. I'm telling you now, but I call them the Facebook Sunderland fans.
Aye.
That when something happens, they put it on Facebook. In relation to football, or they'll tag you in something. Never heard from them for about 2 years. But when Sunderland beat Newcastle, they didn't go to the game. They probably didn't even watch the game.
They wouldn't,
but they were tagging people on Facebook during the game.
Yeah.
Those are the type of people that I had to put up with during that streak. And it was rotten because I used to bite every single time.
That's the problem. It's hard not to bite. It's hard not to bite. But I think a lot of people, though, loved the day. Like, I was speaking to someone, Jack, he'd probably be watching. He said he loved it, you know, he misses it, and And I get that because it is an amazing day. Let's be fair, like you're on the sauce early, and
shots at 8 a.m. is the best.
Everyone's, and it is without question the game that means more if you win it, right? It just does because of who it's against. But
I've got a feeling it'll happen this season, in the cup.
You think so? For me, if them just went bust and they literally didn't exist anymore, I'd be happy.
Yeah, I'm with you, mate. I'm with you. I don't miss the derbies as such. Yes, it's a great day. It is a great day in town. It's fantastic, but I'm not craving to see them. Like, far from it. I'd be happy if I never saw one again in my life. If we are where we are, and they stay where they are, I'm gladly not seeing another derby in my life.
I mean, it would be it's one of these hindsight though. If you told us like we would become, a Man City or a Liverpool, let's just say that was the case, and then them came up. Well, let's be fair, we probably would batter them. Like, so it would be a fun day. But for me, I just can't take the stress of it. Like, it's just too much.
I think it was it not Lee Catmull that came out and he basically said after he left Sunderland when he went to Turkey, I think he went to, he said that Sunderland, like, every single player was when the fixtures got released, it was when we were playing Newcastle. Yeah, that was their game that they focused on.
It's the fans' game, isn't it? I mean, especially for them, it was like that meant everything. Like one of my mates, honestly, he said he was at the game and people around him would say, "I'll take going down as long as we beat them." That's the phrases he was hearing. Whereas we were never like that. I mean, we wanted to beat them, but not to, I'm happy to go down as long as we beat them. It's just, things like that are ridiculous, but.
Next question is from one of our members of the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel. You can become a member for $2.99 a month. There will be a link somewhere on the channel. I'll put it on the description when we'll wrap this one up. Freddie says, any thoughts on the fixture list? I personally think us v Forest would have been a great shout for the first game of the season on the Friday night. I'm surprised that we're not one of the pickings for the to be live on TV with it being Forest's first game back in the Premier League.
That's a good point.
I would rather not have had a newly promoted team, if I'm being honest. I think they have that extra bit of bite about them being the first game back in the Premier League. I don't like it. Better that it's at home.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. I do take what you're saying there. I'm thrilled to bits it's at home though. And for me, I'm thrilled with the start, if I'm honest. I mean, that one game's not going to mean it's not the be all and end all of your season, but I'm pleasantly pleased with it. I'm just very happy we were at home. I wouldn't have liked to have played them away the first game because of everything you've just said, really. I
was looking at the fixture list as well, and you normally I know there's a break November, December time. October, late October, or whenever, towards back end of the year for the World Cup. And to be fair, I can't see a run of those teams that'll be challenging for the top four, and we'll normally play them all around about the same time. It normally gets around about Christmas, and we're playing Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal. I can't see it this time around. And to be fair, on paper, the start, it's a decent set of fixtures that we've got.
It certainly looks like it's going to give you the opportunity to build some momentum. Obviously, you've got obviously Forest at home, then Brighton away, going to be tough. Man City, of course, then Wolves, then Liverpool. You're playing two very good sides in that start, but listen, every game in the Premier League is a tough game. It just is, right? And I know that sounds a little bit what's the word? Easy to say. Everyone's a tough game. It is a bit of a daft thing to say, but they are. And I think I agree with what you're saying. Though there's not like a Spurs, Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, like that type of run.
Well, we're used to that as well.
There's a couple of games in there where we've got Man City or Liverpool towards the end there, where again that's almost back to back. But it's sandwiched in with a winnable fixture, so there doesn't seem anything in that worries us too great. And let's be fair, you could the first two games you could have 4 points from the way I look at it, and then you go into Man City and you think, all right, okay, fair enough.
I think this season as well, we would have been one of the teams that the other lot, so the other 19 teams would have been looking at going, I don't fancy Newcastle being one of the first games. Just the way we ended the season, I don't think they would have wanted Newcastle at St. James's Park. I don't think any team would have wanted that.
No, and that's something that we need to keep going. That fierceness of an opposition going. I really don't, because I'm telling you now that again, I'll go back, but that Arsenal game was incredible, incredible. And if we can create that more and more, nobody will want to face we're at home. No one.
There's a shout there from Liam Coates as well. That says, our last game before the World Cup break is Chelsea. He says, telling you now we will beat them. I think his probably, I might be wrong, but his way of thinking is probably their team is full of internationals.
Yes.
They will be not going to be picking up injuries just before the World Cup starts. And I know we've got a handful scattered around the team, but not compared to the likes of what Man City have, what Liverpool have, what Chelsea have in their ranks.
Yeah. No, it's a good point. It's a very good point. Sometimes, it depends on form maybe going into it and stuff like that. And sometimes class does tell, even though they may not. I agree with the comment that obviously they're not going to go all. You would imagine they won't go all out because they know what's around the corner. Because of course it would be awful for them if one of them got injured, knowing I'm meant to be going to the World Cup after this game. So yeah, it's just very strange, isn't it, to get your head around thinking the season's going to sort of part at that point. It's a bit strange. Like,
I've got it in my head for some reason, but did Loic Remy come out with quotes when he was playing for us saying that he was too scared to play because he got injured for the World Cup and he wanted to be part of the World Cup team?
I don't know, he might have. It sounds like a Michael Owen quote, like, but
it definitely sounds like a Remy quote as well. To be fair,
the course there'll be players that'll do that. There's no question of it. You know what I mean? It's kind of happening.
Right. So another one. This one is from Logicy. Once again, another member of the channel. Says, thoughts on the gap for the World Cup. Feels really weird. Players will be knackered when they come back. Feel like should have had it at the back end of January for the World Cup and a winter break. For me, you look at it two ways. You're going to have a big gap, so players will come back possibly knackered, but you've also going to have players that haven't played any football during that time. I'm not sure if the club will put some sort of internal friendlies on and things like that with other teams to keep the fitness up. Because what is it, 3-week break, 4-week break?
Yeah.
It's about 3 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, that was me worry was that, like, because there'll be a lot of players that'll be still. So probably they'll train just the same, but maybe there'll be some internal friendlies perhaps to try and.
But if I look at it as an England fan perspective, these players are used to playing through Christmas, through November, December. A lot of the other leagues have a winter break.
Yes.
So the England players are ready to go. As soon as that first game starts for the World Cup, they're ready to go. So the body's already in that mode. So it depends if you're looking at club football or international football. It's going to be strange, though. It's going to be strange to see that break in
so it's off from the 21st of November until the 18th of December. And then our game's actually Leicester away is the game. So we finish with Chelsea and then start with Leicester. I think it's, I don't know. It's got to become a distraction for certain players, hasn't it? Of course, when you start the season, it won't. It just won't. But as the time ticks on and you're getting towards the end of October, a lot of their players' minds have to be on 2 weeks time away with the World Cup. You know what I mean? So it is going to be strange, and I wonder if it may cause some real chaos within some teams, and there might be some shocks. Not the top two. I mean, the top two are just who they are. But I mean, hopefully the places we'll be going for. Will it cause a few mishaps there and stuff like that? So might have a chance of just breaking in.
Apparently, 100% was a Remy quote about the World Cup and getting injured. Dan says that you'll never forgive him for being sent off against Norwich. I think we mentioned this a handful of weeks ago. Missed the derby because he got sent off the game prior for a stupid little headbutt, which wasn't really a headbutt, it was just coming together, but ridiculous. But yeah, it's going to be strange, the break. My worry is it's bad enough when players get injured playing for your club and they miss a chunk of the season. It worries me. Crucial players like the likes of Trippier going away with England. If he picks up a bad injury, he's out for the rest of the season, really, isn't he? When he comes back for club football. But it's a risk that every player's taking going to.
It is. It would also be mad. I mean, I'd take it now if you were going to offer it, but imagine if we were on red hot form at the time when it comes to an end, you know what I mean? And you could be really pushing on and doing well, and then it stops for the next 3 weeks. You know what I mean? That would be, and the flip side, it might not be going as well as we're hoping, and then that break will be a chance to kind of hit the reset button. But it's going to be interesting. But the one thing I'd say is everyone has to deal with that scenario. Every team has the same issue, so it'll just be strange for us as fans with it ending in the way it does, and then you've got a World Cup, and then all of a sudden it picks back up again with the Premier League. So be interesting. How do you think we'll do at the World Cup?
On recent performance or last tournament performance?
Yeah, I personally, I think you've got to take a little bit of pinch of salt with this Nations League, like. But
so my opinions on the games which have just passed, ridiculous. Like the players don't want to be there. They're seeing the mates, the teammates on the holidays. They've had a tough season. Club football. They do not want to be finishing Premier League season to then go and be playing these games. Of course they don't. So I'm like I said, I'm taking that with a pinch of salt. I think it's going to be a similar display what we saw in the Euros. I think they'll do well.
Yeah. Well, I think we've peaked. I personally think that will not do as well as we have, and that's not because I've got a problem with anyone. It's going
to be tougher because
very hard.
The World Cup, you got some top class teams in there,
and we did great the last time at the World Cup. I just think we might have a bit of a dip here coming. Not saying a drastic one, not a huge travesty or anything, but just a bit of a dip.
Will Southgate still be manager?
Welcome to the World Cup? I do, yes, but I don't think he will be after it though.
Okay. I think that's it for questions, Decker. Unless there's anything that you want to go through, or if anybody's got anything last minute you want to throw our ways, and we'll go through it.
St. Maxim's images of running.
Okay.
What's your thoughts on them?
Great.
Good, yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
It's great.
No board game or anything involved.
I haven't seen. Yeah, no board game posts.
Yeah. I just, I've got to try and stick up for me brother. You know what I mean?
He looks dedicated. He does.
He looks like he's trying, right? And some of them look quite tough. I think there's one who believe was running there. I'm not. I could just do one shot and then pack in. But
do you know what it
seems like he's trying, right?
He looks in shape as well.
He does actually.
And there was that points last season where he didn't.
Yeah,
he looked a bit chunky, and I'm not sure if that's just his figure, but he looks quite lean on the post, which he has been put on Instagram.
I thought so as well. So I've liked seeing it. And listen, one thing I will say here, I've seen people posting about, obviously, looking at St. Maximum running up a hill, and then you've got a picture of Grealish coming out mortal, and I'm like, whoa. There's just no need to even criticize Grealish for that. He's having a good time, whatever he's doing, fine. But it is nice to see that. Because Maxi will have his holiday, probably maybe already been on it. He would have had his time off as well, with his two wives. But I genuinely have liked what I've seen, and I'm thinking, good on you, son. You're trying to be fit and ready to hit the ground running. So happy it is.
I think so. To go back where we started with signings coming in, I know we brought Target in.
Of course, yeah.
We did bring him in. I think Pope coming in tomorrow, if all goes well. I think this sets the ball rolling now. I think we'll see more, a handful more.
The two names has been the problem, hasn't it? Where they've just been a bit stuck in the mud, haven't they? Where I don't think.
So Botman and Etiquette.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? But I say a problem. It's just the money is there that we've approached them with, and I feel as if the clubs don't sound as if they 100% want to do business, and maybe the players necessarily may not want to also do the business. So I think that'll just take a bit of time. But I read more reports tonight that Milan have pulled out of Botman, financially not right for them, so that puts us ahead of the queue there. It has to come a time though where you do have to move on. If you can't wait forever, but if them are the two that we class as our number one goals, if you like, well, you're gonna have to stick it out a bit and just hopefully get them in. If you could get them two in, well, that's 4 through the door, and every one of them improve you.
So before we started, I completely forgot about this, but before we started recording, there was a few comments, like I said before we hit live, about Christian Eriksen, apparently been in Newcastle for the last 4 days. I'm telling you now, Christian Eriksen had been around Tyneside the last 4 days, we would have seen a photo of him.
Yes.
We managed to get Johnny Depp in a pub.
Yeah. Well, knowing some of the stalkers we have.
Somebody's seen him in 4 days.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a sign that possibly could happen? It looks like Manchester United are interested, Spurs interested, Newcastle interested, and Brentford, obviously.
Apparently, he doesn't want to go to Man United, from what I was reading.
He wants a London move, apparently.
Yeah, that's what's different. I think him going back to Spurs makes a lot of sense, I think. I would love him, but personally, I cannot see him coming here. But, I mean, you never know. But I think if the London call is difficult, and if Spurs were in for him, I think he would love to go back there and maybe prove, that he shouldn't left the first time being hired away or whatever. But he would be excellent, though, wouldn't he? He would be.
Oh, I'd love it.
I would love it. It'd be lovely.
It's one of the what we've been recently calling Eddie Howe saying that just a good egg coming into the team.
Amazing, absolutely. And again, the age he's at, we don't have to. We're not saying we need to rely on him every game. Absolutely not. But if there's certain moments in the game where you need a touch of class, goodness me, he's got it in abundance. So it'll be a lovely signing.
Right, that's us done for the even. Nice 45-minute show for you tonight. We'll be back on Monday night. So if you haven't seen, you've got a night off next Monday, Decker.
Oh,
kind of.
Okay.
Kind of. You're not in the studio, but I will be in the studio alongside Roger, I believe, and we are doing the big fat quiz of the year.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah.
So we have some questions arranged, all things Newcastle United from the 2021-22 season, things like goal scorers, players that replace certain players in key moments of the game, so substitutions.
Okay.
We've got 20 questions. So no, sorry, 20 or 30, I can't remember, but there's quite a few questions. Some of them are nice, straightforward, easy ones. There's some more difficult ones in there as well. But if you have been paying attention last season, it should be a walk in the park for everybody. So that will be kicking off.
You and Roger here.
Me and Roger. Okay. So hopefully we'll have some form of logins where you and a handful of other people can take part from playing at home.
Cool.
And the way I've got it in my head is that you're going to be sat at home with a drink in hand, Decker, with your camera all set up for us to go live to you at different points throughout the night.
All right, okay.
So you and whoever else we've got involved in the quiz as well.
See, I learn things just like this.
Just tell them on the spot. Tell them on the spot.
That all sounds good to me.
Dan says, will Roger be wearing his sparkly jacket? Yes, he will. Roger will be wearing his golden sparkly jacket.
Is he really?
He will be.
Has he got a matching hat for that one? Or?
I'll be wearing the hat.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Quiz masters.
Watch what he's doing. It's been a pleasure. And we'll see you next time.